You're listening to the WBT Podcast with Michael Lodge. Listen to all of our podcasts at www.wbtpod.com. Stay informed. Let's get started.
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518 or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.
And welcome to the WBT with Michael Lodge. I'm so glad you've joined me once again to discuss starting a business and the various issues that you have to take into consideration when operating a business. And today we're going to talk about the various licenses and permits that you have to get, or you may have to get. And the problem is that most small businesses need a combination of a whole bunch of different types of licenses and permits from both federal and state agencies. The requirements and fees, and they really vary based on your business activities, where you're located, and the abundance of government rules and red tape. They're out there, and we have to take consideration of a lot of these different things. Now, let's talk about the most complicated one, and that is the federal licenses and permits. You'll need to get a federal license or permit if your business activities are regulated by a federal agency. And a lot of you are going into a type of business where you are going to have to look at this very carefully, because you don't want to be operating without a license. Otherwise, that can get you into jail time in some cases. So you need to check to see if any of your business activities are what we're going to talk about in just a few seconds here. You need to check with the right federal agency to see in how to apply for them. Requirements and fees depend on your business activity and the agency issuing the license or permit. It's best to check with the issuing agency for details on the business license costs and how to get them approved and everything else. So we're going to go from A through Z, if there is any letters in there that apply. Those of you who want to be farmers or are in the agriculture business, if you import or transport animals, animal products, biologics, biotechnology, or plants across state line, the issuing agency there is the U.S. Department of Agriculture, so you need to go to their website and check it out. Alcoholic beverages, if you manufacture, wholesale, import, or sell alcoholic beverages at a retail location, you need to go to your state licensing boards for that. But you can also go to the issuing agencies in the federal government called the Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau and the local Alcohol Beverage Control Board within your state. Aviation, if your business involves operating aircraft, transporting goods or people via air or aircraft maintenance, you need to go to the Federal Aviation Administration to look at the licensing requirements there. Excuse me. Now, if you're dealing in firearms, ammunition, and explosives, if your business manufactures, deals, or imports firearms, ammunitions, and explosive, again, you need to go to the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. If you're dealing with fish and wildlife, if you are engaged in any wildlife-related activity, including the import or export of wildlife and derivative products, you need to go to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Now, remember, these are federal agencies, but you can find them on your internet websites. Commercial fisheries. If your business engages in commercial fishing of any kind, you need to go to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Fisheries Service. Maritime transportation. If you provide ocean transportation or facilitate the shipment of cargo by sea, you need to go to the Federal Maritime Commission. Mining and drilling. If your business is involved in drilling for natural gas, oil, or any other mineral resources on federal lands, you need to go to the Bureau of Safety and Environmental Enforcement. Nuclear energy. If your business produces commercial nuclear energy, is a fuel cycle facility, or is involved in distribution and disposal of nuclear materials, you need to go to the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission. I don't think many of you are going to be doing that. But it's good to know, right? Just in case you do. Radio and television broadcasting. If your business broadcasts information by radio, television, wire, satellite, or cable, Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, you need to go to. Transportation and logistics. If your business operates in oversized or overweight vehicle, permits or for oversized and overweight vehicles are issued by your state government, but the U.S. Department of Transportation can direct you to the correct state office, and you can go to the U.S. Department of Transportation for that. And we could go on, but there's a lot there that you need to take into consideration. Most of the regulations fall within your state. So you have to be very concerned about your state licenses and permits. And you have to be on top of them all the time because some of them renew. Some of those licenses renew. And some of them you have to file statement of information reports on a yearly basis. And if you don't do it, it costs you a lot of money. If you don't stay on top of your compliance with your state license and permits. The licenses and permits you need from the state, county, or city will depend on your business activity and also your business location. Your business license fees will also vary. We'll all have to get business licenses. I'm afraid you just have to do it. States tend to regulate a broader range of activities than the federal government. For example, business activities that are commonly regulated and locally include auctions, construction, dry cleaning, farming, plumbing, restaurants, retail, vending machines, tax practitioners, CPAs, nurses, the list goes on, that require a license. And the problem is, especially in the state of California, if you do not keep your taxes up to date, or if you do not keep your, if you haven't filed for a long time and you owe taxes, your license can be suspended until you bring your taxes up to date. So you need to really, really think about that, because you don't want to be working as a nurse and all of a sudden you owe taxes for several years and the state says, okay, we're going to suspend your license until you bring it up to date. That means you cannot earn any money until you get your license up to date. Scary, isn't it? But it happens. It happens to attorneys, lawyers, accountants, everybody who holds a license in the state of California. Now, some of these licenses and permits expire after a set period of time. So you have to keep track in compliance. You need to keep track of when you need to renew them, because it's vital. If you don't renew them, you could get into bigger trouble. It's often easier to renew than it is to apply for a new one. So keep your compliance up to date. You'll have to research your own state, wherever you are, or your county, or your city regulations. Industry requirements often vary by state. Visit your state's website, which is usually on the Secretary of State's website, to find out which permits and licenses you need to do the type of business in that state, and the county and the city also. So I want to stress this to you. Most importantly is that once you get out of compliance, it's really hard to get back into compliance, because you have to apply and you may have to take some tests all over again. Remain in compliance. If you need to hire a firm to keep you in compliance, to keep the dates up to, so that the dates pop up on their systems and they know when to get you ready to get your license. Like right now, I'm going through my 24 hours of continuing education to keep my license in the state of California. And I know exactly what date that I have to have it done by. each of you should be on top of that. Don't let it stray. I tell you, because it's so hard to have to retake these tests to get your licenses back into compliance. If you have any questions or need help, just send me an email at mlodge@lodge-co.com, and I will try and help you through the process, or I can at least point you in the right direction. Again, this is Mike Lodge for the WBT. I'll talk with you soon.
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518 or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.
Thank you for listening to the WBT with Michael Lodge. Join us again tomorrow as we explore more about business and taxes. Follow us on iHeartRadio and go to our podcast website at www.wbtpod.com and listen to all of our podcasts and read our blogs.